Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to guide you through this topic because it touches on a surprisingly hidden part of our daily lives. Have you ever been caught muttering to yourself and felt that immediate, massive rush of embarrassment? Well, today we're exploring the fascinating world of the inner voice, specifically when it decides to make an external appearance. We're answering a highly debated, universally relatable question. Is talking to yourself actually normal? So I want you to pause and just be completely honest with yourself for a second. Do you talk to yourself? Maybe you mutter under your breath when you're trying to figure out a really complex problem at work, or perhaps you deliver full, passionate monologues in the car or the shower when nobody else is around. If you're nodding your head right now, I want to reassure you right out of the gate. You're about to learn just how incredibly common this behavior is. As you'll see throughout this explainer, you are in excellent company. But if it's so common, why do we feel the constant need to hide it? That brings us to part one, the problem, the crazy stigma. See, there's this deeply ingrained societal judgment that accompanies the habit of speaking your thoughts out loud when no one else is in the room. It's an immediate social stigma, and it forces a completely natural habit right into the shadows. To ground this in a real-world experience, I want to share an anonymized quote from a recent community discussion on mental health. One individual shared, "I thought it's completely normal until my cousin asked me today why I talked to myself in the bathroom and told me I was crazy for that." Now, this brilliantly illustrates the exact moment of friction so many people experience. You're doing something that feels incredibly natural, soothing even, and suddenly an external observer slaps a label of crazy on you. It instantly generates a profound wave of self-doubt. That single interaction perfectly captures how society frequently labels self-talk as a flaw, a glitch, or something that absolutely needs to be hidden away. We're conditioned to believe that all thoughts must remain quietly inside our heads. When we vocalize them, the unfair judgment we receive creates immediate anxiety. People actually begin to question their own mental state over a behavior that just moments prior felt like a completely functional, highly effective way to manage their day. And this societal judgment doesn't just bounce off us. Let's look at section 2, pain points, anxiety and confusion. When you're told your coping mechanism is weird or flawed, it generates a really heavy mental burden. You end up carrying the anxiety of being caught talking to yourself, constantly looking over your shoulder, and dealing with intense confusion about whether there's actually something wrong with you. Now, what's really interesting about this is the massive double standard it highlights. Keeping your thoughts echoing loudly inside your head is deemed perfectly acceptable by society. But the exact moment those same thoughts cross your lips and become an external monologue, it draws intense, unfair scrutiny. The content of the thoughts hasn't changed at all. Literally, the only thing that changed is the physical mechanism of delivering them. And these external monologues usually aren't just random babbling. They serve a very distinct purpose. Many individuals report that these vocalizations are triggered during intense emotions, like sudden anger, profound sadness, or overwhelming stress. People will actually pause whatever task they're doing to monologue for minutes at a time. They'll literally go back to the beginning of a story and explain it out loud just to process the sheer weight of these overwhelming feelings. It's a pressure release valve. It's also really important to look at the neurodiversity connection here. Self-talk is frequently and naturally observed in individuals with ADHD or those on the autism spectrum. For someone with ADHD, the brain can sometimes feel like a cluttered, noisy place, and speaking out loud is a brilliant way to cut through that fog. For autistic individuals, vocalizing can be a vital way to structure future sentences or practice social interactions. It's a highly functional tool for navigating a complex world. So how do we reframe this? Let's move right into section 3, solutions, normalizing the monologue. So the crucial point is this. When you strip away the unfair societal stigma and actually listen to the overwhelming consensus of people sharing their lived experiences, a remarkably positive, empowering conclusion emerges. The community consensus is loud, clear, and incredibly comforting. Talking to yourself is totally normal. Countless individuals openly share that they do it daily, whether it's muttering, having full conversations, or even playing both sides of a dialogue. It is a widely shared human experience, and acknowledging that is the absolute first step to erasing the stigma. Once we accept that it's normal, we can appreciate the hidden benefits. Self-talk actively processes complex emotions. It formulates and orders scattered thoughts. It prevents distractions by keeping you anchored to the task at hand. And it is incredibly effective at beating brain fog. In fact, reasoning things out loud actually allows information to get processed by an entirely different part of your brain compared to just thinking it quietly. It's a biological life hack. Just listen to this fantastic, highly practical example from another community member. They noted, if I say out loud, I'm going to the kitchen to get ice. I'm much less likely to forget why I'm there. I'm sure we've all experienced that frustrating moment of walking into a room and instantly forgetting our purpose. By using your external voice, you create a physical auditory anchor. Self-talk in this scenario acts as a highly practical tool against cognitive brain fog and memory loss. Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 4, taking action, healthy habits, and extensions. How do we ensure we're using self-talk in a way that actively supports our mental health, rather than letting it spiral into negativity? Here is a great 3-step framework for keeping it healthy, especially when dealing with frustration. Step 1, simmer down. Take a breather if you need to. Step 2, resolve without aggression. It's vital not to let your monologue fall into a fantasy of violence or vitriol against others. Step 3, practice self-compassion. The ultimate goal of talking out loud when you're angry should be to soothe yourself, not to wind yourself up further. Giving yourself compassion first helps you respond to the world in a much more level-headed and socially strong manner. And hey, if you find that talking out loud is becoming a bit too overwhelming, or if you're in a crowded public space where it's simply not practical, try journaling. Think of it as a monologue on paper. When emotions are running really high, writing everything down, even if it's messy, unorganized, and rambling, serves the exact same function. It externalizes the internal noise, clears the mind, and offers a highly therapeutic alternative to vocalizing. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today, and I really want to leave you with this final thought. How will you treat your inner voice moving forward? Will you continue to hide it in shame, or will you embrace it as the incredibly useful cognitive superpower that it actually is? The next time you catch yourself muttering in the bathroom or reasoning out loud in the car, don't judge yourself. Just smile, keep talking, and let your brain do the amazing work it's trying to do. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep exploring.